Live from ABC7, this is Eyewitness News at 8 p.m. on LA56.
A mountain lion attacked two family dogs, killing one, leaving the other seriously hurt. Tonight, their owner wants to warn others about the danger.
Decades after the murders of 3 L.A. women, a serial strangler is sentenced what he shouted out in court.
The Dodgers clinched the National League West, and fans cannot be happier. A look at celebrations as fans get excited for a playoff run. And good evening, I'm Colleen Sullivan.
I'm David Ona. Welcome to Eyewitness News on LA56. A warning tonight for people with pets in San Bernardino. It comes after a woman discovered her 2 dogs had been attacked by a mountain lion. Inland Empire Bureau Chief Rob McMillan has her story.
I truly believe that it's running around here somewhere at night. And I just don't want anybody else to go through what I'm going through.
Barbara Farley breeds Yorkies at her home in San Bernardino, but she says after a mountain lion went on the attack, 2 of them are no longer in this backyard cage. 3-year-old Buddy hasn't been seen in 2 nights. He's believed to be dead. 5-year-old Missy was found alive after the attack, but in very bad shape. She's at the animal hospital right now.
Have you ever had anything like this in this neighborhood before?
No, that's what I don't get.
They think the mountain lion jumped over this backyard fence and then crept through the backyard toward the home.
Well, these dogs were working. They were in, and they were going nuts. And then I saw the cat go by here, and then I walked out there, and Missy was laying on the ground.
Farley called her friend Virginia Conan right away.
Poor thing. I mean, she was a mess. She was a mess. And, you know, thank God her husband came out and right away put Missy on a cooking sheet.
Missy is in intensive care right now. And she's hemorrhaging, got broken ribs and crushed chest.
Farley has words of caution for other people around here, with a mountain lion kind of like this one possibly still in the area.
Just watch out. Just keep your kids and your dogs and your pets inside.
San Bernardino City Animal Control says the call originally came in as a bobcat attack, but the owner here says she saw the animal and it was no bobcat. Animal Control searched for the animal in this neighborhood for a while yesterday morning. There was no sign of it. In San Bernardino, Rob McMillan, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
The FBI is on the trail of the member of ISIS shown on video executing 2 Americans and a Brit. They've identified him, and now they are trying to track him down. Plus, authorities on both coasts respond to word of a possible plot here at home.
I'm Barack Obama.
The FBI believes it has identified the masked man with the British accent in all 3 ISIS execution videos, but the FBI will not release the man's identity. He is believed to be responsible for the beheadings of American journalists James Foley and Stephen Sotloff, as well as British aid worker David Haines. Meanwhile, there are new concerns today about ISIS planning an attack on subways in New York and Paris. Iraqi Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi says his country's intelligence uncovered an ISIS plot. U.S. intelligence and law enforcement say they have no knowledge of a terror plot aimed at U.S. subway systems. New York's mayor quickly reassured residents the subways are safe.
But everyone should know the most important fact right now is we are convinced that New Yorkers are safe. We're convinced people should go about their normal routine. Terrorists want us to live in fear. We refuse to live in fear.
LAPD Chief Charlie Beck says riders on LA's transit system should always be aware of their surroundings. But as of right now, Beck says there are no credible threats.
You know, we don't have any positive info on that. I mean, obviously, you know, right now at this time in the world, things are very, very chaotic, and so this generates a lot of rumors. We don't have any specific articulable threat that goes with that.
This comes as the U.S. and its allies continue to bomb ISIS targets in Syria. The French Defense Ministry says its fighter jets carried out airstrikes on 4 ISIS warehouses near Fallujah today. The Pentagon says the fight against ISIS will not be short.
I think we're in this for a matter of years. And I think we all believe that here in the Pentagon. We're steeling ourselves for that length of time. It's hard to put an end date on that.
The Los Angeles Metro says that transit police and the LA County Sheriff's Department are working closely with federal authorities to monitor the situation. They do stress to riders that if you see something suspicious, you should call 888-950-SAFE.
A surprise announcement. Eric Holder is resigning as U.S. Attorney General. Holder is the first African-American Attorney General. He made civil rights and criminal justice reform his signature issues. President Obama says under Holder's leadership, crime and the incarceration rate declined together for the first time in 40 years.
He's shown a deep and abiding fidelity to one of our most cherished ideals as a people, and that is equal justice under the law.
We have made real the visions that you and I have always shared. I often think of those early talks between us about our belief that we might help to craft a more perfect union.
Holder is the fourth longest-serving Attorney General in U.S. history. He has been Attorney General since the beginning of the President Obama's administration. Holder won't leave until a replacement is confirmed, which could take months.
Relief today for family members of loved ones who were lost to a serial killer decades after the crimes were committed. 74-year-old Samuel Little was sentenced today for killing 3 women in South Los Angeles in the 1980s. Eyewitness News reporter Robert Olguin has more on what happened in court.
Shackled to the sides of his wheelchair, Samuel Little was not interested in apologizing. His statement to the court, angry and defiant.
His conviction was brought on by lies and liars, coached by liars.
Little was convicted earlier this month of 3 counts of first-degree murder. Today, the 74-year-old was sentenced to 3 consecutive life terms without the possibility of parole.
The crimes involved great violence, cruelty, and viciousness.
Authorities say Little was a serial killer responsible for raping and murdering 3 Los Angeles women in the late 1980s, dumping their bodies in abandoned buildings or alleyways. The murders went unsolved for decades until DNA evidence linked Little to the crimes in 2012.
It was a big mystery, that must have been the worst part, not knowing, who did it.
Tony Zambrano is talking about his mother, Guadalupe Apodaca. In this photo, Tony is seen smiling, sitting alongside his brother and mother, who was murdered by Little in 1989.
If you have a mom out there, call her up and, tell her you love her, because you might not have another chance.
The relatives of Little's victims spoke out during today's sentencing hearing. Afterwards, they gathered in a courthouse hallway, total strangers brought together by tragedy.
I've had a gaping hole in my heart for 25 years.
Sherry Nelson says her sister, Audrey Nelson, had just moved to California from Colorado.
It's a very difficult time, but I'm glad it's over.
I was 13 when I had to bury her. I had to say goodbye.
Pearl Unique Nelson says her mother was just starting to get her life back together when she was murdered in 1989.
We got him. He's gone. He can't hurt anybody now.
Little has a lengthy criminal record and was living in a shelter in Kentucky when LAPD detectives tracked him down 2 years ago, thanks to genetic material left behind at the crime scenes.
Time was running out, I felt, and I'm just, I'm totally, absolutely happy about this, that it's over.
Little's attorney says he plans to appeal the conviction. Reporting from downtown LA, Robert Olguin, ABC7, Eyewitness News.
Oak Grove Elementary School in Orange County has been hit with a second threat in less than a week. As Eyewitness News Orange County reporter Greg Lee tells us, the school was placed on what they call a shelter-in-place alert.
Very scared, the most scariest thing of my life.
5th grader Ashley Nylander still shaken up after she and her classmates were given a shelter-in-place order at Oak Grove Elementary School this morning. Orange County Sheriff's deputies rushed to the campus and began investigating a threat.
A police officer and his dog, and he sniffed around the classroom a few times.
Capistrano Unified School District says the order was lifted about an hour and a half later when deputies found nothing. Parents were notified by phone about the threat and the all clear. Many waited in large groups to pick up their children, some feeling like they were being left in the dark.
We know that they've got to keep certain things under wrap. It would be good to know what type of threat it was. Was it a bomb threat? Was it a substance threat? Is it a threat to kill?
Frustration is mounting because this is the second threat the school's received in a week. Last Friday, authorities received a similar threat. Parents say they didn't learn about it until Sunday night. Many parents chose to keep their kids at home after the first threat, prompting a call last night telling them the school was safe and students should come to class.
We didn't trust what we were being told, and today proved that that questioning of it was probably accurate.
Extra security was added this week. A district spokesman told us by phone they're doing the best they can in this situation.
We are not able to provide information, A, that we don't have, or B, information that should be provided by law enforcement.
While an investigation into both threats continues, some parents are concerned about the safety of their children.
It's unfortunate, but we we're not even sure if our kids will come back to school.
The district tells us class is scheduled as normal tomorrow and that they will notify parents with any new information. Reporting in Aliso Viejo, Greg Lee, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
A woman will receive more than $1 million after being punched on the side of the freeway by a CHP officer, and we're hearing from her about the agreement. The settlement was reached after 9 hours of negotiations between Marlene Pinnock's attorney and the CHP. Pinnock's lawyer says the $1.5 million settlement will be set up in 2 trust accounts. It will provide her a safe place to live for the rest of her life. In addition, the officer involved, Daniel Andrew, has agreed to resign.
He is being forced to quit, and there's a video. He is known as the officer who beat the grandmother on the freeway.
I didn't want him to hurt no one else like he hurted me.
Pinnock's attorney also wants a federal civil rights investigation and Officer Andrew to be criminally charged and sentenced to prison.
The search is on for the man who stole a crucifix from the Santa Clara Catholic Church in Oxnard. The surveillance video is grainy, but it shows the suspect walking up to the altar of the church and shoving the crucifix into his shirt. He then walks out. The crucifix is 22 inches and is made of brass. It's not worth a lot of money, but parishioners say it's priceless. The church is pleading with the suspect to return it, no questions asked.
It was another warm day, but hopefully we may be in store for a cool down. Let's check in with meteorologist Jonathan Novak. Hi, Jonathan.
Colleen, hi. How are you doing? Not only just a cool down, maybe even some rain, some sprinkles in the forecast. We'll get to it. Today, it was still warm, but believe it or not, a little bit cooler than you saw yesterday. LAX69 right now. We have some nice mild temperatures across the board this evening. 70s for most of us. 69 Santa Monica, though, and 80 in Santa Clarita, some of the warmer spots. 81 in Riverside. And we have this big area low pressure, this big trough in the atmosphere that's dug in west of us. I'll tell you how that's going to influence our weather coming up in a few. Getting you through tomorrow, you already see we are cooler by noontime, only 78. Details on the chill coming up in a few minutes.
All right. We'll see you soon, Jonathan. Expectations are high for the Dodgers this season, and they've cleared the first hurdle, securing a spot in the National League playoffs.
As Eyewitness News reporter Darsha Phillips reports, the excitement is building for a playoff run.
Dodgers, Dodgers, Dodgers. Fans still celebrating last night's win over the San Francisco Giants.
Ground ball in the hole. Nice pick by Barney to throw him out. And there it is.
A win that clinched the National League West title for the second year in a row for Big Blue.
We're going to take it off. In my mind, we're taking it off.
People already flocking to the gift shop to get the championship shirt.
There you go.
Everett Bingham was at the game last night and says it was an amazing experience.
I came here since I was 62 as I was a little kid by myself. And I come to games, I'll be scalping for tickets just to get in the game. This is a long time ago. But I was here last night, and I think it was the most exciting game I ever seen in my life.
Fans and players went wild. The sold-out crowd celebrated and chanted MVP for star pitcher Clayton Kershaw. And with him at the mound, many fans say they have high hopes.
When Kershaw's in there, it's a guaranteed win. Matter of fact, I got a $100 bet we're going to the World Series. Right, Manuel? Where's that loser at? Oh, that guy. Yeah, we're going to the World Series. We got a bunch of Angel fans. They're la-las.
Dodger fans and Angel fans were smack-talking this morning.
Que vivan los Dodgers! Let's celebrate the Dodgers!
I got to say that the Angels are going to go all the way. You know, Dodgers, they talk so much about their coach. It's pitiful.
But fans of both teams say a freeway series would be great to see.
I don't know who's stronger than the Angels in the American League, but hopefully they can get through, and the Dodgers the same, and it will be a nice California freeway series.
Darsha Phillips, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
And we're taking a couple of nights off so you can catch all of the Dodger action right here in LA56. The Dodgers are taking on the Rockies next. Tomorrow night's game starts at 7:10. Saturday it starts at 6:10. And Sunday there's an afternoon game at 1:10. Remember, Eyewitness News on LA56 will be back Sunday at 8 o'clock.
A violent carjacking caught on video.
Still ahead, hotel guests and workers sent flying as a crazed suspect tries to ram his way out of a parking lot.
Plus, Apple issues an apology along with a promise to work around the clock to fix its iOS 8 update.
An actress cut out of a superhero movie is being put back in. I'm George Pinocchio. Details in tonight's Hollywood Wrap. Plus, stolen celebrity guitars. And from Italy, it looks like the preparations are underway for a major weekend event. Next.
A violent carjacking outside a Miami hotel caught on surveillance camera. It happened in the valet line. When the driver of this Lexus got out, a man pushed her down, then jumped in, tried to drive off, but got stuck. As valets approached the car, he rammed his way free, hitting several cars and 4 people. One of them is hospitalized in serious condition. The carjacker got away, but only temporarily. He was arrested several hours later and is facing multiple felony charges.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about our cool down that you're talking about.
Big difference compared to last weekend going into this weekend. It was perfect weather last weekend, but, you know, we need some cooler, maybe some wet weather, right?
Great.
Okay. See what I can do for you. In fact, already on that live Meganopolis 7000 HD, a reading showing up, just one, Echo, that is moving very slowly to the north. Around Indio, you might catch a little sprinkle there. You see down to the bottom right of your screen. We'll zoom in just a little bit here east of Borrego Springs, and that's it. But as we go into the forecast, we are going to actually be bringing in the rain chances for, well, just about most of us, actually. Details in just a second. 85 was our high today in L.A. Cooler than yesterday. All right, so the warm-up that we had, it was brief, a few days. Not too bad. It's starting to cool down already. 72 in downtown this evening, very comfortable. 67 Oxnard, 78. Good evening, Santa Ana. 80 in Temecula right now, and Palm Springs a balmy 97. Nice, beautiful evening. 77 in Palmdale, by the way. So it's a good one. In fact, it's about 5 degrees cooler in many spots than it was this time last night. That's what this map is showing you. It was 3 degrees warmer this time last night in Riverside. It was 4 degrees warmer this time last night in Burbank. So we're already starting to see some cooler weather as high pressure gets budged over to the east. A big trough, a low pressure, has dug in to the Pacific, just west of us. In fact, this is going to be bringing us some cooler weather, some cloudier weather, maybe even some drizzle as we go into the extended forecast. We have a front that's fizzled out. It's a dry front for us, but some rain for portions of Northern California, much needed for them. For us, here's how it's looking like with the timeline. Future rainfall and the clouds, both here in this product, in this forecast. You see some clouds already moving in tonight. You'll wake up to some of those tomorrow for sure, going into Friday. And now as we go into late Friday into early Saturday, this is a slight chance of rain, especially for the eastern portions of the area. It will slide to the east on Saturday, so we're going to keep that chance of rain in there. Drizzle for L.A., maybe a little bit more than that in the mountain areas, but some cloud cover to go with it. And then Sunday, things start clearing out and warming up by then. So you've got a couple of days here of cooler, cloudier, and maybe a little bit of wet weather, okay, heading into the first half of the weekend. Tomorrow's high, only 80 in Los Angeles, dropping those numbers by 5. Mid-80s in the IE, really, I would say, cool. It's a mild day for you guys. It's beautiful in terms of the temperatures, very comfortable. 70 forecast for LA Metro and Orange County. You see scattered drizzle on Saturday. That'll be Friday night into Saturday with temperatures only topping out in the mid-70s in LA. Upper 70s on Sunday, a slow warm-up in store as we go in through next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, finally getting back to average. Valleys, IE, even you are in the 70s on Saturday with a little bit of drizzle, back in the 80s and dry next week. And then a first half of the weekend, some coastal slope rain possible in the mountains on Saturday, breezy, cold in the morning, and the high desert will keep it dry, but breezy. 75, fantastic Saturday. Next week, you're back into the 80s. We'll have another look at the weather coming up in a few minutes, guys. Back to the desk.
All right. Love the cooler temperatures, Jonathan. Thank you.
Yep.
And tonight's Hollywood Wrap, Italy gets ready for a big event. Is it an all-star wedding?
Plus, a Grammy winner is assigned to sick bay. Here's George Pinocchio with all the details.
She's not going to be able to perform for a while. If you have tickets to any upcoming Diana Krall concerts, they've been canceled. Krall is canceling her fall concert tour to battle a severe case of pneumonia. The singer and jazz pianist says she is deeply saddened about this, but she's under doctor's orders to rest for the next few months so she can regain her strength and get back on track. Krall was scheduled to perform at Walt Disney Hall in November with the LA Phil. That will not be happening. 3 unique guitars have been stolen from actor and comedian Cheech Marin. The 3 pieces are part of his Blazing Chicano Guitars collection. They were stolen late Monday from a storage facility in Los Angeles. Cheech appeared last week in support of his friend Tommy Chong on Dancing with the Stars. The city of Venice, Italy is gearing up for the wedding of the year. Though there has been no official announcement, reports say George Clooney and Amal Al-Muddin will have two ceremonies in Venice this weekend, one on Saturday followed by a civil ceremony on Monday. A Venice city official who spoke on the condition of anonymity told the Associated Press that police requested the closure of a walkway fronting the picturesque Grand Canal to keep crowds away from creating a safety risk. The official said such closures have taken place previously for both public and private events. Talk show host Jimmy Kimmel is helping the American Cinematheque honor Matthew McConaughey. Jimmy will host next month's big gala celebrating Matthew's career just up until this point, his career that is. People he's worked with are joining in on the fun, including Jessica Chastain, Jennifer Garner, Cole Hauser, and Reese Witherspoon. The ball is October 21st. And if you missed Anna Paquin as Rogue in the recent X-Men Days of Future Past sequel, you're in luck, because she's being added back into the film for home video platforms. Variety says the extended version, which will be called the Rogue Cut, will be available next year. I'm now in the newsroom working on Viola Davis to bring you tonight on Eyewitness News at 11 o'clock.
I
for her new
see
series,
that.
How to Get Away with Murder.
It looks awesome.
What a night for her, though.
Oh.
Night
all
for her.
those shows in a row.
Chandra,
yeah, for Shonda Rhimes. But
Yeah.
How to Get Away with Murder, really good.
Yeah, that's
Ooh,
great.
okay. All right, George. Thank you.
Can't wait. Thank you, George.
Well, we could see a welcome sight at the pump. Still ahead, look at the current gas prices.
Plus, an apology from Apple as the tech giant works around the clock to fix flaws with its latest updates. Apple is apologizing for a glitch. The company says it's working to fix the iOS 8 and the iOS 8.01 flaws. The new problems include interference with calling and with a feature that lets people unlock their phones with their fingerprint. They hope to have iOS 8.02 ready in the next few days. These aren't easy to say. No. Apple is also responding to reports that the new iPhone 6 can bend. This is YouTube video of one man's claim. Apple is defending its manufacturing standards and says bending is, quote, extremely rare.
Analysts are predicting gas prices to drop below $3 a gallon across much of the United States. Recent price drops are due to falling global oil prices and a typical decline in August. The current national average is $3.35 a gallon, and an analyst with Oil Price Information Service says by the end of the year, 30 states could have an average below $3 a gallon. However, that won't be the case in high-priced states like ours, of course, California and New York. But prices are dropping. Today's average in LA County is $3.73 a gallon, and that is 12 cents less than a month ago and 27 cents less than this time last year.
That's great news. We're updating the evening's top stories next at 8:30.
Plus, closing arguments today in the case of a man accused of poisoning his wife in Orange County 20 years ago.
And new claims that two big insurance companies misrepresented their networks in order to boost enrollment.
Live from ABC7, this is Eyewitness News at 8:30 p.m. on LA56.
Our top story at 8:30, a warning tonight for pet owners in San Bernardino. I'm David Ono.
And I'm Colleen Sullivan. This is Eyewitness News at 8:30 on LA56. A woman discovered her two Yorkies had been attacked by a mountain lion. One is believed to be dead. The other is in the hospital. The mountain lion apparently jumped over the backyard fence, then crept through the backyard and attacked the dog.
Relief today for family members who lost loved ones to a serial killer decades after the crimes were committed. 74-year-old Samuel Little was sentenced today to 3 consecutive life terms without the possibility of parole. He killed 3 women in South Los Angeles in the 1980s.
Oak Grove Elementary School in Orange County has been hit with the second threat in less than a week. The school was placed on what they call a shelter-in-place alert. Capistrano Unified School District says the order was lifted about an hour and a half later when deputies found nothing. No one was hurt. Closing arguments got underway today in the trial of a local man accused of poisoning his wife to death for financial gains 20 years ago. Eyewitness News reporter Rob Hayes has details on what happened in court today.
It's been more than 20 years since Paul Curry has seen his wife alive. But today, Linda Curry's story is alive. And if the Orange County District Attorney's Office has its way, that story will put her now 57-year-old husband behind bars.
He did something that caused her death. He injected her with nicotine, caused her death. He intended for her to die. That's it. He made $500,000 from her death. Married her for 21 months, ended up with $500,000.
In closing arguments, prosecutor Ebrahim Beitai laid out his case for the jury. Curry, he said, poisoned his then 50-year-old wife for the insurance payout, and that he showed little concern for her as she grew sicker and sicker. Beitai told the story of how Paul Curry's first wife also mysteriously grew sick, and that when she failed to qualify for life insurance, Paul left her.
She gets sick. They don't know why. He wants her to get life insurance. She gets rejected. He leaves her, and now she's fine. She got lucky because she got rejected.
Paul Curry is not a murderer. Not. This case is all about conjecture, innuendo, and suspicion.
Lisa Kompelman is Paul Curry's public defender. Curry is a former nuclear physicist and trained chemist who worked at the San Onofre nuclear power plant. After his wife's death in San Clemente in 1994, he moved to Kansas, where he worked as a city building inspector. Kompelman says the case against Curry is all circumstantial, and that the only thing he's guilty of is illegally collecting Linda's life insurance benefits.
He had committed this small act, this small crime of insurance fraud, and to cover that up, he's now pegged the criminal who committed this murder. He did not commit the crime of murder.
Now, Curry is convicted of murder for financial gain or by poisoning. That means an automatic life sentence with no chance for parole. In Santa Ana, Rob Hayes, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Well, police are asking for your help in identifying a suspect who sexually assaulted an employee at a video store in Koreatown. The suspect is described as a black male, dark complexion, 21 to 25 years old. They say he's 5'8" to 6 feet tall, weighs around 170 to 210 pounds. Authorities say the man entered a video store on 6th Street earlier this month and demanded free videos. And when the victim refused, the suspect got angry and threw the woman to the ground and sexually assaulted her. If you have any information on who this man is, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS.
Police have arrested a man who broke into a woman's house and followed her onto the roof. 29-year-old Christian Hicks is being held for investigation of burglary. This after photos show a woman cowering under an eave yesterday morning, calling for help as an intruder came up on the side of the roof. Officers surrounded the house in Venice and urged the man to surrender. Hicks is described by neighbors as a homeless man who is often seen in the neighborhood.
Lawsuits are filed against Blue Shield and Cigna, claiming that some consumers did not have the coverage or the doctors they thought they were paying for. Consumer specialist Rick Romero has details on the allegations.
Sally Greer of Irvine is in a wheelchair. Sheila Davidson is chronically ill. Both of them need consistent health care, and both thought they had good health insurance coverage until recently.
Got a call from one doctor that said, you're not covered. And I said, that doesn't make sense. Yes, I am. No, you're not. They never signed, Blue Shield never signed the contract.
All of a sudden, the coverage for all of my treatment and all my doctors was pulled out from under me. I no longer had coverage from anybody that had been treating me for years.
Their stories and the stories of others like theirs got the attention of Consumer Watchdog in Santa Monica, who recently filed 2 separate class action lawsuits against Blue Shield of California and Cigna Healthcare.
Consumer Watchdog has uncovered that in order to boost profits and market share, Cigna and Blue Shield of California have pulled off a blatant bait and switch.
The lawsuits allege Cigna, which was not part of the covered California exchange, switched the doctors for some of their individual clients to out-of-network status, leaving those consumers holding the bill for their doctor services. And they allege Blue Shield, which is part of the Covered California Exchange, failed to provide their buyers of individual health coverage with proof of insurance for 2 to 3 months or more.
So they couldn't use their coverage, they couldn't go to the doctor, or they went to the doctor and had to pay out of pocket.
When we contacted Cigna and Blue Shield, we were sent these responses. Blue Shield has received a class action lawsuit filed on September 23, 2014, against the company in Superior Court in the County of Los Angeles. We will review the complaint and may have more to say at a later time. And Cigna says, unfortunately, we can't comment on pending litigation.
Consumer Watchdog says Blue Shield has about 400,000 insured in the state of California, while Cigna has about 10,000. Now, Consumer Watchdog is seeking restitution and damages. As well, they would like Blue Shield and Cigna to stop the conduct that is alleged in the class action lawsuits. This is Rick Romero, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Movie and television production companies will now be able to get a whole new camera angle. The FAA has granted 6 permits that allow the companies to fly unmanned drones for filming. Pictovision in Van Nuys is one of the companies being given the green light to fly their drones for movie studios. The drones must be flown under 400 feet over a restricted set, and they can't be up for more than 30 minutes. The drone operator also needs a pilot's license, and there must be a 3-man crew present.
The family of the 12-year-old victim in the Slender Man case has come forward. Still ahead, they're opening up about their daughter's harrowing story and how she found the strength to survive.
Plus, police in Texas arrested the man charged with abducting a missing UVA student. Still, investigators say they have no idea where the 18-year-old could be.
Meteorologist Jonathan Novak here. Hey, check out the marine layer. Low clouds already moving in connection with the system that's going to cool us down and maybe bring you some rain. Details ahead.
Despite an arrest and the disappearance of an 18-year-old University of Virginia student, police say they are nowhere near finding her. ABC's Susan Salney has the latest on the search for Hannah Graham.
The Virginia warrant is a fugitive from justice warrant.
Detectives from Virginia are on the way to Texas to question this man, 32-year-old Jesse Matthew, who appeared before a judge in Galveston today after a nationwide manhunt led to his arrest in the disappearance of UVA student Hannah Graham. He appeared confused by the charges and was not required to enter a plea.
I read him his rights, as I did every other defendant in the county jail this morning. Virginia denied his bond. The whole process took about 60 seconds, maybe 90 seconds.
Matthew, seen here in handcuffs overnight, will be extradited back to Virginia, where he and Graham were seen together just minutes before she disappeared on September 13th. On Tuesday, surveillance video showed Matthew walking into a Texas gas station. The authorities say a Texas deputy arrested him Wednesday during a routine patrol on Boulevard Peninsula, where Matthew was camping on the beach. Why he went there is still a mystery. It's more than 1,000 miles from the mall in these surveillance videos, where the police say Matthew bought several drinks for Graham, who is 18 years old.
We can speculate why it is he was in Galveston, Texas. But it would be only speculation. We don't know for sure.
On Saturday, Matthew hired a lawyer, but his family insists that he is innocent of any crime.
To kill or hurt somebody, that's not my son.
Police say the search is still on for Hannah Graham.
We don't know where Hannah Graham is, and we have to find her.
The authorities in Virginia say they're asking the community for help. They're getting tips and treating them as leads. Susan Falney, ABC News, Washington.
We have an ABC News exclusive. The family of the 12-year-old victim in the Slender Man case is speaking out. The parents of a Wisconsin 12-year-old girl brutally stabbed by two friends living out an internet fantasy spoke exclusively to ABC's David Muir. Their daughter was stabbed 19 times and left to die in the woods when a cyclist found her last May.
I said, "You're going to be okay. It's going to be fine." But I could see that she was covered. Her arms and her legs and her abdomen, they were covered in stab wounds.
Authorities say the 12-year-old suspects charged as adults were fascinated with a fictitious internet boogeyman known as Slender Man. They believe he would reveal himself after the attack, and you can hear more of the girl's incredible story of survival with David Muir on Friday night.
Ferguson, Missouri's police chief has issued a video apology to the family of Michael Brown. Brown's body was left in the street for 4 hours after he was shot and killed by an officer, and Chief Thomas Jackson wants to make amends.
The time that it took involved very important work on the part of investigators who are trying to collect evidence and gain a true picture of what happened that day. But it was just too long, and I am truly sorry for that.
Brown was unarmed when he was killed August 9th during a confrontation with Officer Darren Wilson. The shooting sparked weeks of racial unrest, riots, and protests. In the video, Jackson also apologized to any peaceful protesters who felt their rights were violated.
Well, still ahead in sports, a look at the chances of there being an Angels-Dodgers face-off in the World Series.
Plus, a special group of youngsters battling cancer are sworn to serve and protect today. We're going to show you the red carpet treatment these officers got. Big cool down for tomorrow.
Big
We
cool down.
like it.
I like it. It's going to be cool. It's going to be cloudy, maybe some drizzle going on with a big system in the west coast, bringing rain already to portions of Northern California. Yeah, how about that? All right, let's take a look. In fact, guys, check this out. Live Mega Doppler 7000 HD, picking up on some echoes as of the last few sweeps. And you see here on loop mode, we'll zoom in just around Indio and south. Moving up toward Coachella and Palm Desert, you might catch a little bit of a sprinkle with this little storm that's trying to fire up there, a little cell. So as we go in through the next few days, especially late Friday and Saturday, maybe some drizzle for the area overall. UCLA, high today, 85. Burbank, it was 92. Lancaster, 90. These are all above average, but they're cooler than we saw yesterday. We've already started the downtrend for those temperatures. It is 72 right now in downtown LA. Calm winds, a beautiful evening. 67, nice and comfortable in Wrightwood. Good evening for you. 97 in Palm Springs, beautiful all around. 78 in Santa Ana, 76 Fullerton, a lot of 70s abound. We will cool down into the upper 60s tonight overall. And high pressure, as it's been our weather maker, will now start sliding to the east enough, and it's making room for this big trough of low pressure. This is the high pressure here off to the east. Now we see this big dip in the atmosphere, all right? And with it, this low up here to the north, and a front that you can clearly make out right there, bringing showers and storms to portions of Northern California. That fizzled out, so to speak, and it was dry for us. But we have another front that rolls through here on the future scan. That will potentially kick up some drizzle as we go in through Saturday. Watch here the timing. Friday, 3 p.m., we're still seeing that onshore flow. We're going to have more clouds tomorrow. We're going to have cooler weather. 5 to 10 or 11, 12 degrees cooler tomorrow in many spots than you saw today, all right? Then we go through Saturday, and that energy is over to the north of us, but enough so that we could see, with that front rolling through attached to that system, a few sprinkles, all right, around the area. Sunday, it dries out, and we start a slow, gradual warm-up into the work week. So we've got a couple of days here of cloudy, cooler weather. Look at this, 80 in Los Angeles, only 85 in Ontario, 75 Huntington Beach, 100 Palm Springs, 86 Lake Elsinore, and a coolish 63 in Wrightwood. Here's that 70 forecast, LA Metro and Orange County powering up AccuWeather tonight. Okay, 76 on Saturday. I mean, that is a huge drop from yesterday to today to tomorrow and Saturday. We're dropping about 20 degrees or so. And then 78 on Sunday. So we'll notice the scattered drizzle possible on Saturday as well. We'll keep that in there late Friday through Saturday. Valleys, IE, you two are in the drizzle game. 79 on Saturday. We'll warm you back up into the 80s, and you're back up to 88 and then 90 by next Tuesday and Wednesday, respectively. The mountains, cold, 31 Saturday morning, 28 Sunday morning, maybe a little bit of fog and drizzle at the coastal slopes. Temperatures topping out 58 on Saturday. You got a cool weekend ahead before things warm back up. And then the high desert will keep it dry, but gusty winds with that front rolling through. 45 miles an hour on Saturday, temps in the 70s. Dallas has the latest in the forecast on ABC7 at 11. Tune in for that. Back to you guys at the desk.
And we have some breaking news coming out right now out of Altadena right now. LA County Sheriff's deputies are on the scene of a possible stabbing. It happened around 8:20 tonight at Woodbury Road and Raymond Lane. Again, Woodbury Road and Raymond Lane. Again, 8:30 tonight, possible stabbing. We have been seeing sheriff's deputies questioning one person here. Not sure if it's a person of interest, not sure if it's a victim, but again, not sure on exact extent of injuries as well. But right now, we are on the scene of a possible stabbing in Altadena, and the LA County Sheriff's Department is investigating. We will have more on this on ABC7 at 11.
The Dodgers and Angels have never faced each other in the World Series, but this could be the year. The Angels clinched the AL West last week. The Dodgers won the NL West last night. Odds makers don't think the idea of a Freeway World Series is far-fetched. These odds were released just today, and the Angels are at 5-1 to win the Fall Classic, while the Dodgers and the Nationals are next at 11-2, followed by the Tigers and the Orioles. So it could happen. The corks were popping, the champagne and beer were flowing in Dodgers clubhouse last night. They celebrated their 4th trip to the playoffs in the last 6 years. They'll play Game 1 of their National League Division Series next Friday at Chavez Ravine. The players weren't the only ones getting soaked last night. So were some of the most loyal fans in the stands.
Going forward, how confident are you about this team to win it all? I mean, you know, obviously I'm biased, but the pieces are there. The other teams in the playoffs are obviously deserving and good, but I wouldn't bet against us, that's for sure.
Postseason's scary because it's short. Momentum changes. You know, we just got to, it's going to be who plays the best, gets hot. You know, so postseason's always a crapshoot, so we'll see.
We got good pitching. We got good guys that can hit the ball anywhere and at any count. So we just got to be confident and keep going.
What about that guy Kershaw, huh?
He's all right.
And remember, we are taking a couple of nights off so that you can catch all of the Dodger action right here on LA56. The Dodgers are taking on the Rockies next. Tomorrow night's game starts at 7:10. Saturday it starts at 6:10. And Sunday there's an afternoon game at 1:10. Remember, Eyewitness News on LA56 will be back Sunday at 8 o'clock. And a storybook ending for Derek Jeter in his final home game as a Yankee. Against the Orioles, game tied at 5 in the ninth. With a runner on second, the captain comes through with another big hit. He singles to right, and Antoine Richardson beats the throw home. Jeter with a walk-off single in his final at-bat at Yankee Stadium, 6-5. One of the greatest ever.
No doubt about it. Well, don't forget you have the power to help end breast cancer. The Susan G. Komen Race for Cure in Orange County is this Sunday, and ABC7 is a very proud sponsor. Registration starts at 6:30 in the morning at Fashion Island in Newport Beach. Come out, show your support. The details are on our website, abc7.com. And more news straight ahead here at 8:30 and ahead tonight on Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC7. It's a startling scene that has New Yorkers talking tonight. A Los Angeles daredevil strikes a yoga pose 25 stories up on a Big Apple high-rise. She is speaking out. Plus, our George Pinocchio sits down with Viola Davis, the star of the new ABC series, How to Get Away with Murder. These stories and all the late-breaking news on Southern California's #1 late newscast, Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC7.
A new program uses dogs to help detect the early stages of cancer in firefighters. The dogs then help the firefighters as they go through treatment. The International Firefighter Cancer Foundation has been working with service dogs trained to find diseases for the last 3 years. Retired firefighter Thomas Thompson beat prostate cancer and is urging his fellow firefighters to be aware of a real occupational hazard.
They need to take advantage of everything they can and keep as informed as they can.
To be able to use a non-invasive process for finding stage 0 cancers and diseases ahead of many cases of traditional medicine is something that 10 years ago was unheard of.
A recent study found higher rates of cancer in firefighters and in the rest of the U.S. population.
And the LAPD welcomes 28 new members only for one day, but for a very special day.
Eyewitness News reporter Sid Garcia shows us how they partnered up with the LAPD.
For one day, these 28 kids and young adults will be a part of LA's finest.
According to the best of my ability. Congratulations.
They came from Southern California and as far away as Alaska, North Carolina, and Texas. All of them are dealing with cancer.
I'll have a lot of fun because, like, when I was little, I always wanted to be a police officer, so it kind of makes me feel like one.
The Sunshine Kids, a national group dedicated to helping kids with cancer, made it happen. Today, they received the red carpet treatment from the LAPD. After being sworn in and assigned a partner, it was time to hit the streets of LA. From Universal City, they were driven to the Raleigh studios in Hollywood for a tour. After that, it was launched with LA Police Chief Charlie Beck.
What we love today, they have a big time. The police department pulls out all the stops and tries to make it a special day for them.
The Sunshine Kids has been around since 1982, just over 30 years, and their mission is a simple one.
Putting smiles on the faces of kids with cancer.
I just like everything about California so far. I've just had a blast this week.
It's the essential of what we do as an organization, and that is to let them know how important they are and that they're not alone. Not alone.
In Hollywood, Sid Garcia, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
And we want to remind you, you can catch the Dodgers games right here on KDOC tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday. Good night.